Okay, everyone, this is Nero, and somebody asked how to deal with fast-moving colliders or a thin glass of water. And I know this kind of effect sometimes could really be in a pain in the ass. So I'm here to show you the solution. Maybe more than one way, so you can choose. Depends on what you need. Before start, I want to talk about how do we often do when we're dealing with flip simulation. Say this is the shear effect we're gonna after. There should be liquids inside cups, right? So what we often do is, I'll show you. First, we're gonna get the cup as the collider. And right now, this guy is 2.1 meters high, which is too high for the real world. We gotta respect the real world scale, right? So we gotta scale it down about 0.2 meters high. And then we're gonna make our collider. This is the collider, and this is the collider VDB. All right. After that, we're gonna fetch the emitter, and the emitter right now is also pretty high, pretty big. And then when you scale it down too, you can see 0.14. And then we make a flip source out of that. This is the flip source. Right now the flip source is moving, but I don't care about that because we only gonna fetch the source for one frame, the first frame. And you can put a time shift to make sure there will be no bug. Okay, so this guy should stable. What? Why is this guy moving? So that guy isn't moving. Oh, because I should change the pivot to time shift. Okay, so that way this guy will move. It's stable. Oh, where is it? I think I should lower it that somewhere around here. Oh, still need to lower that somewhere around here inside the cup. So this is the source, flip source, and then we dive into the SOP. We're gonna fetch, like I said, we're gonna fetch for the first frame. The reason I didn't use volume source because volume source is often used for keep sourcing the source, which means the source gonna emit more than one frame. Also, you can type $FF equal let's say 1 for grabbing the first frame, but I'm lazy. I just don't like that. Every time I just wanna grab one frame, I type it right here, up input path from the number of 0, which means this input 1. The number is 0, okay? And then I jitter the scale, because if I don't do jitter, this just not good enough. So much more repetition. And then I scaled it to 1. And then I made a ground. You can see the ground may be too big. I can lower that. This is the ground. And finally, the cup. Maybe I can hide that. This is the cup, and what we can get is these guy. All right. Let's head back. And we're not gonna use that. Instead, we're gonna use deforming. Let's just leave it here. So anyway, this is the pain in the eyes I talked about. As you can see, the liquid leaks. I assure some of you already faced this problem. And how do we deal with that? And we can make a little change. Like I said, this is oh no, we're not gonna do retime this time. Instead, we're gonna say we're gonna grab these faces and delete them and invert it, and we're gonna put a cap, polycap. So this one is watertight. If we gonna ever wanna prove to ourselves, so this is watertight. The reason we gonna do that is because this time we can do inverse sign. Inverse sign means which side, the outside or the inside, is empty. The default, this is the SDF, sign distance field, right? The outside is positive numbers. The inside is negative numbers. So positive means open, and negative means closed. But what we want is to tell the solver the outside is solid, but the inside is empty. So that's why we need to invert the sign, right? Okay, let's see the result. Till now it's pretty good, huh? And what about the cup moves? So if you don't make such a big movement, let's say let's do time shift and lock this at frame 1. I should grab it from here, and the others, so that way this guy won't ever move. And then if we put a transform here, and the transform, I say maybe from still from 22, because the animation is actually beginning at 24 number 24 frames. This part, this 1 to 23, is just for stabilizing. Okay, then we make a key, and after that, let's put it somewhere around here. To to 1. Wrong direction. Okay, let's see. Is that so fast? I think I can. Yeah, I just leave it here. And this is the new collider. Before it was crazy. And now it is more gentle. So what's the result? Oh, there is something I did wrong. I put it here. I put it here. Why are you go that way? Yeah, still some volume lost. So this one might be still too quick. What about we lower the speed? This time, these guys moving much more faster. And what could be the result? As you can see, this is much better, huh? So during this test, we just give it a lower speed. So what if we don't want to change that? And we can do every time. Every time we're gonna change the speed. I want you to start from 24 to 24, and I wanna lower it half the time. So let's see. Okay, we actually slower. The result is better, but not that good. We can keep lowering that more. Well, it's almost about 72 frames. As you can see, the result is much better. So what about we don't use that, and we don't use our keyframe animation. Instead, we're gonna use that one. So this one could be much slower. And you can see at the beginning, this seems right, but not that good. So I guess we gotta lower that more. So Houdini can deal with that. I guess this one is pretty slow. Let's see the result. Okay, as you can see, the result is much better. This kind of helps, but as you can see, the volume is lowering. And I guess you can keep lowering the speed and maybe make it 0.01. So this time, this guy should work. Okay, here's the result. It's a kind of okay, but still facing some volume loss. Just a little bit. Anyway, I think there is nothing we can do. Not perfect solution, but whenever you don't need to lower the animation that much, let's say maybe just half of the time, this one kind of okay. So whether or not choose this method, it depends. By the way, we're gonna use the retime again to speed the result up so we can match the original animation. This is not because we were using 100 times, so that way we're gonna use 100 times, don't need that. And remember, if you ever want to use retime to do some retime on points, you gotta have attribute ID. This one, ID attribute. In order for the flip solver to have the ID, you gotta go to particle motion, behavior, and ID attribute. In the meantime, you're gonna check read particles. So that way, each every one I can prove it to you, each every one gonna have ID. And the ID is stable. Just because the ID is stable, the retime chooses the ID to do retime. So, like I said, this kind of helps. You can see here, I can show you something. You can see just 51 frames. The solver needs to calculate 2,000, almost 3,000 frames. And what if we crank it up? 7,000 frames. So this is not very efficient, but like I said, as long as you don't want to lower the animation so much, this one could help. Method 1 is by retime. So here comes solution number 2 by using pops. This time we'll still grab the glass animation. I know this is not the animation we get from the ABC, but let's use it here for now. And then I put caps on it, make this guy watertight, and the others are the same, the collider. But on the other hand, this is the emitter. The emitter, because this is pop, and pop doesn't care about volumes, right? So what we only need is points. You can do something else like ISO offset and give it more resolution, and you can scatter some points inside it. Yeah, you can do that. But I don't think there is a particle separation thing. So I suggest you, if you really want to use this method, this solution, use points for volume. And still there is a jitter that we can use to jitter the points around, so this one won't be so regular. By doing so, we do have a point separation thing. Maybe when we do particle fluid surface, we can put it here. Okay, so the result matches. That's why I choose the points from volume. In the pop nut, I grab the source for once and put it ground. And then grab the glass, which is the our collider, and then there is a important pop node, which is called pop fluid. This one is trying to make the particles behave like fluids. And you can see there is a particle separation thing. Remember this parameter? That's the other reason why I choose to use points from volume. And we can copy and paste it here. And here is the readout. Let me put it back to 100. This is the readout. Kind of interesting. And you can see the energy is too much. We can add some drag, more drag, and see the readout. This is the readout. Still kinda okay. Kinda, but not good. Remember, we just put caps on it. What if we don't want to put caps on it? This time we're gonna extrude a little bit and see the readout. So this is the readout. Oh, I forgot. Before we hit inverse sine, remember the outside inside theory? So let's do that again. Well, you can already see the readout. Let me put it back to the camera. When the glass is not moving, the readout is kinda, sorta okay, but when the glass is moving, not good. So I don't think this is a perfect solution, but still, this one depends. Say you have a box as a container, and you really don't care about the escape of the liquid, and say the container is rotating. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. So that way, you might want to use this method because this is pop calculation, right? And pop calculation is really fast. So that's why I said this one depends. So this is solution number 2. I'm gonna leave a note here. So this method number 2 is by using pop. So here comes the final solution. This is the ABC, the animation file, and then we just dive in and convert it so it's polygon, no more packed alembics. Then we grab it out. This is polygons, and then I put a null. One is moving and one is locked at frame 1, which is static. And then I used a extract transform node. This is a object level node to extract the moving one's transformation matrix and put it to the static one. Here I just object merge the static one, which is this one. Why did I do that? I did this for later use, and you're gonna see. And by the way, if you ever wonder what a matrix is and what matrix can do for us, please read my last topic. After that, we just grab the static one. We don't even need this guy to move, so that's why I just grab the static one. And of course, this is the collider VDB. And oh, I forgot to mention, I didn't change the scale. Just leave it as it is. And this is the emitter. Surely the emitter will move either. And then make a flip source out of that here inside the DOM-net. And the DOM-net is pretty simple. Like always, we grab the source for once and then add a ground. But this is different, the collider object. Remember, this is the static collider. Static doesn't move, right? And in the volume sample, this is the collider VDB, which doesn't move either. And after that, I changed the velocity transfer from splashy to swirly. Splashy is made for middle scale or large scale liquid simulation, water simulation like ocean or river or kind of thing. But swirly is more stable. Yeah, the solver just check it using OpenCL and so pressure with adaptivity. So the solve could be quicker. And then go to particle motion. In order for me to check if there are any particle lost, I turn off receding, because receding is always trying to fit in or kill some particles. So that's why I disable this one. And I didn't change the collision detection. What else? Yeah, I crank up the sub-steps. So let's see the result. This is the readout. This is actually even better than my render. If you remember, when I did the render, I think there is about 44 or 43 frame. There is a little bug, I guess. So where are you? Yeah, this is even better than last time. But I don't think I changed anything. I don't know why, but this works. So I think this is my final solution. And in order for this to work, just remember not to make the collision deform. If you remember, last two methods, the objects always deforming. But this time, we use a static collider. And then we use the object transform. That means this VDB stays where it is, never changes. But if you are doing deforming, the VDB changes all the time. So here comes my final conclusion. 3 steps. Step 1. Once you got an ABC file, try to extract the transformation matrix out of it and put it to a static one. Step number 2. In the .NET, try not to use the form collider, but use object transform. Step number 3. Scale the glass up, not down, up, and then play with the gravity. The theory behind all these operations is because the Flip solver can only deal with 32 bits calculation. What I mean, I show you. Say we have a box. This is a box. This is the P attribute. And if we're gonna do a attribute cast, an attribute cast can cast our attribute from 32 bits to 64 bits. The difference between 32 and 64 is the depth, meaning more data could be saved, could be stored, could be handled. But to now, all these microsolvers inside the Flip solver, they are 32. No way to change them to 64. So that's why when you dial down the grayscale, meaning you want more voxel, meaning more data should be stored, should be calculated, the Flip solver cannot deal with it. So that's the whole reason I said scale the glass up so the wall of the collider could be thicker. So you might not need to crank up the grayscale. That's the whole reason. There's nothing we can do but wait for update, maybe 19. I know I already said this is my final solution, but here comes a final solution. That would be the best way for now, I guess, is to use real flow. I said this because I suggest you, whenever you want to do a fast moving or thin wall of glass of water, I suggest you to use real flow. Because real flow is still using the SPH algorithm. Even on the help card, it says, if you are dealing with fast moving collider, the SPH could be fast or faster. You know, Flip is made of particle plus volume. It's supposed to be easier to more faster, more we can manipulate it. But I guess the Flip is both the blast and the curves of the water simulation. So this is for today, and I really hope you enjoy this video, and hope you might find your best solution. And if you want to know anything or you have anything to discuss, just leave me a comment. Thank you. Again, this is Nero. See you next time.